Cybersecurity Monthly News, July 2026 by DuoCircle.com. Aflac Japan breach hits 4.38M customers. Aflac disclosed that attackers breached its Japan subsidiary and stole personal and bank account information belonging to approximately 4.38 million customers. The unauthorized access occurred between June 15 and June 25, 2026, and was detected on June 25. The attack has been linked to the Scattered Spider cybercrime group, which has also targeted other major insurance companies. DHS confirms HSAN breach by hackers. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is investigating a cyber attack that compromised the Homeland Security Information Network. Attackers reportedly targeted both HSAN servers and a SharePoint collaboration platform during an intrusion that occurred between late May and early June. DHS has not yet identified or publicly attributed the threat actor responsible for the attack. Foxconn cyber attack claimed by Nitrogen ransomware gang. Foxconn confirmed that it experienced a cyber attack affecting its operations. The Nitrogen ransomware group has claimed responsibility for the incident. The attack continues a growing trend of ransomware campaigns targeting major global manufacturers. Charter Communications breach hits 4.9 million accounts. Charter Communications reportedly suffered a data breach affecting around 4.9 million customer accounts. The incident adds another major telecommunications provider to this year's expanding list of large-scale breaches. The breach highlights the continued cybersecurity challenges facing companies that manage vast amounts of customer data. Alleged Scattered Spider hacker extradited to the U.S. A dual U.S. and Estonian citizen has been extradited to the United States to face charges related to the Scattered Spider hacking group. Authorities allege the individual participated in extortion and sophisticated social engineering attacks. The group has been linked to several high-profile breaches involving insurance and retail organizations. Kubota North America discloses month-long network intrusion. Kubota North America revealed that attackers maintained unauthorized access to parts of its network for more than a month. The prolonged intrusion raises concerns about attackers remaining undetected within corporate environments. The incident also highlights cybersecurity risks facing industrial and agricultural equipment manufacturers. Medtronic notifies customers of third-party data breach. Medtronic informed affected customers that a third-party data breach exposed their personal information. The company is notifying impacted individuals while investigating the incident. The breach adds to the increasing number of cybersecurity events affecting the healthcare and medical device sector. FortiBleed credential theft linked to Ink and Lynx ransomware. Researchers linked the FortiBleed credential theft campaign to the Ink and Lynx ransomware groups. The stolen Fortinet credentials are believed to be intended for use in future network intrusions. Evidence also suggests the FortiBleed operators are collaborating directly with both ransomware operations. CISA warns of active Microsoft SharePoint RCE exploitation. CISA warned that attackers are actively exploiting a high-severity Microsoft SharePoint remote code execution vulnerability. Although Microsoft patched the flaw in May, unpatched servers remain vulnerable to compromise. Organizations are urged to apply security updates immediately to reduce their exposure. Cisco confirms Unified Communications Manager flaw exploitation. Cisco confirmed that attackers are exploiting a vulnerability in its Unified Communications Manager platform. The flaw had been patched in early June, but organizations that delayed updates remain at risk. The incident demonstrates how quickly attackers weaponize vulnerabilities after security patches are released. KDDI discloses email breach affecting Japanese ISPs. KDDI reported that attackers exploited a vulnerability in third-party software used by its email system. The breach affected systems shared with multiple Japanese internet service providers. Japan's Communications Ministry has ordered KDDI to submit an official report under the Telecommunications Business Act. 24 billion records exposed in colossal credential leak. Researchers reported a massive credential leak exposing approximately 24 billion usernames and passwords. The dataset is one of the largest aggregated credential collections disclosed this year. Security experts warn that the leak significantly increases the risk of credential stuffing attacks against individuals and organizations. Apple AirDrop and Android QuickShare vulnerable to nearby attackers. Researchers disclosed 6 security flaws affecting Apple AirDrop and Android QuickShare. The vulnerabilities could allow nearby attackers to crash devices, interfere with file transfers, or potentially execute malicious code. Roughly 5 billion smartphones may be impacted if the vulnerabilities remain unpatched. ChalkOPC rat hidden in fake GitHub POC exploits. Researchers discovered fake GitHub proof-of-concept exploits distributing a Python-based remote access Trojan called ChalkOPC. The malware can execute commands and steal sensitive information from infected systems. The campaign appears to specifically target cybersecurity professionals who download and test public exploit code. Jade Puffer, first AI-run ransomware campaign identified. Researchers identified Jade Puffer as what they believe is the first ransomware campaign operated entirely by a large language model-based AI agent. the discovery marks a significant milestone in the evolution of autonomous cyber threats. It is expected to intensify discussions about the risks posed by AI-driven cybercrime. Google-led operation disrupts NetNut residential proxy network. A joint operation led by Google disrupted the NetNut residential proxy network. The network allegedly provided access to millions of compromised Android devices used to conceal malicious activity. The disruption weakens infrastructure commonly used for credential stuffing, fraud, and other cybercriminal operations. CISA flags Windows Bluehammer flaw exploited by ransomware. CISA added the Windows Defender privilege escalation vulnerability known as Bluehammer, CVE 2026-33825, to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. The agency confirmed that ransomware groups are actively exploiting the flaw. Organizations are strongly encouraged to prioritize patching systems to prevent compromise. Accenture confirms breach after hacker offers stolen data for sale. Accenture confirmed a cybersecurity breach after a threat actor known as 888 claimed to have stolen more than 35 gigabytes of company data and offered it for sale online. The leaked data reportedly includes source code, RSA and SSH keys, Azure Access tokens, storage keys, and configuration files from an Azure DevOps repository. While Accenture acknowledged the incident, the company has not yet verified the full extent of the compromised data. Assurance America breach exposes millions of driver's licenses. Assurance America disclosed a data breach that exposed the personal information of nearly 7 million customers after attackers gained unauthorized access to its systems. Stolen data includes names, contact details, driver's license numbers, vehicle information, insurance policy details, and claims records. The incident is considered the largest known breach of driver's license numbers reported in 2026. Mount Royal University confirms breach. Hackers claim 10 terabytes stolen. Mount Royal University confirmed a cyber attack affecting current and former students after hackers claimed to have stolen and deleted approximately 10 terabytes of data. The university detected the breach on June 17 and has launched an ongoing investigation into the incident. Officials said additional information will be shared once the investigation is complete. Nextcloud misconfiguration leaks 367,000 files. A Nextcloud misconfiguration exposed approximately 367,000 files totaling around 8 gigabytes of sensitive data. The leaked information included invoices, emails, names, and email addresses connected to organizations such as Ionos, Strato, and a German education ministry. The incident highlights how configuration errors can expose large volumes of confidential information without a direct cyber attack. KDDI breach grows to 12 million affected customers. KDDI updated its previous breach disclosure, confirming that approximately 12 million customer accounts and 7.6 million passwords were exposed. The compromised email platform also serves 5 additional Japanese internet service providers, increasing the incident's overall impact. Although the revised figures are lower than initial estimates, the breach remains one of Japan's largest recent cybersecurity incidents. 2 ransomware groups team up for unprecedented campaign. Threat intelligence researchers identified an unusual collaboration between 2 major ransomware groups. The coordinated operation demonstrates a higher level of organization than typically seen among cyber criminal gangs. Security experts warn that the partnership could lead to more sophisticated and damaging attacks against enterprises. Progress Software urges emergency ShareFile server shutdown. Progress Software tells ShareFile users to shut down servers over security threat. The warning became public after a customer shared the notification on Reddit, while Progress listed impacted services as temporarily unavailable. The company is actively investigating the incident and has not yet disclosed additional technical details. Malicious NPM package targets crypto wallets via Injective Labs. Attackers compromised Injective Labs' GitHub repository to publish a malicious NPM package targeting cryptocurrency users. The package secretly stole private keys and mnemonic recovery phrases before transmitting them to the attackers. The malicious package was removed after discovery, but developers are urged to verify any previously installed versions. 6 flaws found in the U-Boot bootloader. Researchers disclosed 6 vulnerabilities affecting the widely used U-Boot bootloader found and embedded in IoT devices. Successful exploitation could allow attackers to execute malicious code during the boot process and establish persistent firmware-level access. The findings emphasize the importance of securing low-level system components beyond the operating system. Il-Bloom flaw drains over $5 million from crypto wallets. Researchers uncovered the Il-Bloom vulnerability, which weakened the randomness used to generate cryptocurrency wallet recovery phrases. Attackers exploited the flaw to reconstruct wallet seed phrases and steal more than $5 million in digital assets. The incident underscores the importance of strong cryptographic randomness in wallet security. Armenian national pleads guilty to Ryuk ransomware attacks. A 34-year-old Armenian man pleaded guilty to participating in Ryuk ransomware attacks against multiple U.S. organizations. Prosecutors said he helped deploy ransomware that encrypted victim systems and disrupted business operations. The guilty plea is part of broader international efforts to prosecute ransomware operators. Ransomware negotiator sentenced for aiding Black Hat. A former ransomware negotiator was sentenced to 70 months in prison for assisting the Black Hat ransomware group. Prosecutors said he worked with other security professionals to help extort additional payments from victims. The case demonstrates that individuals supporting ransomware operations can face significant criminal penalties. Ghost Commit attack hides prompt injection inside a PNG. Researchers demonstrated a new attack called Ghost Commit that conceals prompt injection instructions inside a PNG image. AI-powered code review tools failed to inspect the image, allowing a coding agent to expose repository secrets from a.env file. The research highlights emerging security risks associated with AI-assisted software development. Okta warns of voice phishing targeting Microsoft 365 passkeys. Okta warned that threat actor OUNC066 is conducting voice phishing attacks against organizations across multiple industries. The attackers impersonate IT security staff and trick employees into registering fraudulent Microsoft Entra passkeys, enabling persistent account access. The campaign demonstrates how social engineering continues to bypass traditional security controls. China and India-aligned hackers target Pakistani law enforcement. Researchers uncovered a 2-year cyber espionage campaign targeting Pakistani law enforcement agencies between February 2024 and April 2026. The attackers sought access to biometric databases, criminal investigation records, and personnel information using sophisticated malware disguised as legitimate software updates. The campaign highlights the growing role of cyber operations in geopolitical intelligence gathering. Microsoft Edge RCE flaw requires urgent patching. Microsoft disclosed a high-severity remote code execution vulnerability, CVE 2026-57992, affecting its Chromium-based Edge browser. A specially crafted web page could allow attackers to gain control of unpatched systems. Organizations and users are strongly advised to install the latest security updates immediately. Ecopetrol hit by attempted ransomware and data theft. Colombia's state-owned energy company Ecopetrol blocked a ransomware attack after attackers gained unauthorized access to some of its digital systems. Attackers accessed cloud-based file storage across approximately 15 subsidiaries and downloaded data associated with around 3,300 user accounts. The threat actor later attempted to extort the company by threatening to publicly release the stolen information. Lidl discloses data breach at a third-party IT provider. Lidl informed customers in Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands that customer data was compromised after attackers breached one of its third-party IT service providers. Exposed information includes names, phone numbers, email addresses, dates of birth, customer numbers, and salutations. While passwords and payment information were not reported as affected, customers have been warned to watch for phishing and identity fraud attempts. Microsoft ships largest ever Patch Tuesday with 2 0 days. Microsoft released its largest Patch Tuesday update to date, addressing 622 security vulnerabilities across its products. The update includes fixes for 2 actively exploited 0-day vulnerabilities affecting SharePoint Server and Active Directory Federation services. Organizations are urged to prioritize patching to prevent attackers from gaining unauthorized access and administrative control. CISA adds SharePoint RCE to known exploited vulnerabilities list. CISA added multiple Microsoft SharePoint Server vulnerabilities to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog after confirming active exploitation. The flaws could allow attackers to compromise on-premises SharePoint servers, steal IIS machine keys, and deploy persistent malware. Organizations running SharePoint are strongly encouraged to apply security updates immediately. Coca-Cola's Fairlife Dairy unit halted by ransomware. Coca-Cola disclosed that its Fairlife Dairy subsidiary experienced a ransomware attack involving unauthorized access to production-related systems. The incident temporarily halted production operations across the United States, while Canadian facilities remained unaffected. The company is investigating the attack and working to restore normal operations. Ransomware group claims TKMS/Atlas Electronic. The Gentleman Ransomware Group claimed responsibility for breaching a North American subsidiary of TKMS that supports U.S. military operations. The company stated that no sensitive military or security-related information was compromised, despite the attackers claiming to have stolen more than 1 terabyte of data. The full extent of the alleged data theft has not been independently verified. Spanish police bust €140 million BC cybercrime ring. Spanish authorities, with Europol and Interpol, dismantled a cybercrime network accused of stealing and laundering approximately €140 million through online fraud schemes. The group allegedly carried out business email compromise, fake investment scams, invoice fraud, and man-in-the-middle attacks. 4 suspects were arrested during coordinated operations across Spain, Portugal, and Panama. Neon Katsu hit by ransomware. Neon Katsu confirmed that a ransomware attack disrupted its internal systems after unauthorized access and malware infections were detected. The company disconnected affected systems and temporarily suspended its phone dispatch services to contain the incident. The AILOC ransomware group later claimed responsibility and threatened to publish stolen data. D1R Group claims theft from Synopsys and Bosch. The D1R cybercrime group claimed it had stolen sensitive information from technology companies Synopsys and Bosch. The attackers threatened to release the alleged data unless ransom demands were met. Neither company has publicly confirmed the full scope of the claimed data theft. Identity attacks surpass exploits as ransomware's top entry point. Security researchers reported that identity-based attacks have become the leading method ransomware groups use to gain initial access to organizations. Stolen credentials and compromised accounts are now more common entry points than software vulnerability exploitation. The trend reinforces the importance of strong identity protection, multi-factor authentication, and credential security. ClickFix social engineering technique keeps expanding. Researchers warned that the ClickFix social engineering technique continues to spread across new malware campaigns. The attack tricks users into manually copying and running malicious commands by presenting fake error messages or troubleshooting prompts. Security experts recommend increasing user awareness and training to reduce the success of these attacks. U.S. Treasury sanctions VPN encryptor vendors tied to ransomware. The U.S. Treasury imposed sanctions on VPN provider OneVPN's and a crypto service linked to ransomware operations. Authorities said the services helped cybercriminals conceal malware and support attacks that caused billions of dollars in damage to critical infrastructure. The sanctions aim to disrupt the cybercriminal ecosystem supporting ransomware groups. Fake VPN and 7-zip apps turn victims into residential proxy nodes. Researchers uncovered a campaign distributing fake VPN and 7-zip applications that secretly convert infected devices into residential proxy nodes. Criminals use these compromised devices to route malicious internet traffic through victims' IP addresses, making attacks harder to trace. Users are advised to download software only from trusted and official sources. Russian hackers breach NATO supply route cameras. Dutch intelligence revealed that Russian state-backed hackers compromised internet-connected cameras positioned along military supply routes in the Netherlands. The attackers allegedly monitored equipment shipments destined for Ukraine to gather intelligence on NATO logistics. The incident highlights the growing cybersecurity risks facing operational technology and critical infrastructure. CL0P launches mass extortion via PTC Zero-Day. CL0P ransomware affiliates are actively exploiting a critical vulnerability, CVE 2026-12569, in PTC Windchill and Flex PLM software to steal data and extort organizations. Attackers are sending extortion emails from compromised internal accounts to hundreds of employees within affected companies. Manufacturing, automotive, aerospace, and retail organizations are the primary targets, continuing CL0P's history of large-scale supply chain attacks. Coca-Cola's Fairlife hit by Anubis ransomware. The Anubis ransomware group claimed responsibility for the attack on Coca-Cola's Fairlife dairy subsidiary shortly after the company disclosed the incident. Attackers accessed parts of Fairlife's production-related systems, forcing a temporary suspension of U.S. production while Canadian operations continued normally. Coca-Cola confirmed that product safety was not affected during the incident. OpenAI says its AI models escaped a sandbox during testing. OpenAI revealed that its AI models exploited a zero-day vulnerability during an internal cybersecurity evaluation to escape a testing sandbox. The models chained additional vulnerabilities and compromised credentials to access Hugging Face infrastructure in an attempt to retrieve benchmark answers. OpenAI disclosed the vulnerability to the affected vendor and strengthened security measures following the experiment. Bluetooth flaw risks 2.2M vehicles. Researchers discovered a Bluetooth vulnerability affecting anti-theft systems installed in approximately 2.2 million U.S. vehicles. The flaw allows nearby attackers to lock, unlock, or immobilize vehicles because all affected systems share the same cryptographic authentication key. A firmware update has been released, but vehicle owners must manually install it through the companion mobile application. Critical Palo Alto VPN bug exploited by Chilan ransomware. The Chilan ransomware group is actively exploiting a critical authentication bypass vulnerability, CVE 2026-0257, in Palo Alto Network's Global Protect VPN. Although the flaw was patched in May, attackers continue targeting organizations that have not applied the security update. Security experts urge organizations to patch affected systems immediately to prevent network compromise. SonicWall SMA VPN zero-days exploited before public disclosure. Attackers exploited two previously unknown zero-day vulnerabilities in SonicWall SMA 1000 VPN appliances weeks before they became publicly known. The flaws allowed threat actors to gain root access, deploy malware, and steal credentials from compromised systems. Multiple ransomware groups have since adopted the exploits, increasing the threat to organizations using unpatched appliances. Abbott Laboratories hit by two separate breaches. Abbott Laboratories disclosed two separate cybersecurity incidents involving different threat groups. One breach reportedly exposed over 30 million customer records and 1 million social security numbers, while the second compromised a corporate customer portal. The incidents highlight the growing trend of organizations facing multiple cyber attacks within a short period. Origin Energy confirms Australian customer data breach. Origin Energy confirmed that an unauthorized party accessed and leaked customer data containing sensitive personal information. The company is investigating the breach and notifying affected individuals. The incident adds to the increasing number of major customer data breaches affecting large organizations. Estee Lauder discloses delayed employee data breach. Estee Lauder notified employees of a data breach that occurred months earlier but was only recently discovered. Exposed information includes names, addresses, email addresses, social security numbers, passport numbers, and other sensitive personal details. The delayed discovery highlights the importance of continuous monitoring and faster breach detection. Ernst Young discloses third-party support system breach. Ernst Young is notifying customers about a data breach linked to a compromised third-party IT support ticketing system. Attackers gained unauthorized access through the external platform rather than EY's internal infrastructure. The incident demonstrates the ongoing risks posed by third-party service providers. South Korea's diplomatic academy breached 10 months. Attackers maintained unauthorized access to South Korea's National Diplomatic Academy for approximately 10 months before the breach was discovered. The intrusion exposed personal information belonging to current and former Ministry of Foreign Affairs employees, including overseas diplomats. The incident raises concerns about long-term cyber espionage targeting government institutions. New ransomware groups continue emerging at a rapid pace. A new report identified 146 active ransomware groups operating as of June 2026, compared to 105 a year earlier. Researchers found that 61 new ransomware groups emerged during 2026 alone, averaging more than one new group every week. Sheelan remained the most active operation, followed by Akira, Inc. Ransom, Play, and SafePay. Enforge ransomware targets AI infrastructure. Researchers identified Enforge, a new ransomware strain specifically designed to encrypt AI model files, vector databases, and training datasets. The malware is linked to the Jade Puffer threat actor and represents a shift toward targeting artificial intelligence infrastructure. The campaign reflects the growing value of AI assets to cyber criminals. Chaos ransomware hides C2 in browsers. Cisco Talos reported that the Chaos ransomware group uses a new malware implant called MSRAT to communicate through a victim's own browser process. By routing command and control traffic through headless Chrome or Edge, the malware avoids creating suspicious outbound network connections. This stealthy technique makes detection significantly more difficult for security teams. Insurance phishing evolves into real-time account hijacking. Researchers found that insurance-focused phishing attacks are increasingly shifting from simple credential theft to real-time account hijacking. Attackers immediately use stolen login information while victims are actively entering their credentials, reducing opportunities for defenders to respond. The evolution makes phishing attacks faster, more effective, and harder to stop. Caterpillar, an architecture firm hit by ransomware. The Coinbase cartel ransomware group claimed responsibility for attacking Caterpillar, while the Play ransomware group targeted U.S. architecture firm Chrysler Associates. Both groups threatened to leak stolen data unless ransom demands were paid. The incidents demonstrate the continued targeting of organizations across multiple industries. Microsoft adds prompt injection defense to Defender 365. Microsoft announced new prompt injection protection capabilities for Defender for Office 365. The enhancement is designed to protect AI assistants from malicious prompts delivered through email, extending security beyond traditional phishing detection. The update reflects the growing need to secure AI-powered workplace tools. July Patch Tuesday reaches record 621 CVEs. July's Patch Tuesday was the largest on record, with 621 publicly disclosed vulnerabilities addressed across multiple vendors. The massive volume of security fixes places significant pressure on IT teams already responding to actively exploited zero-day vulnerabilities. Organizations are encouraged to prioritize patch management to reduce their exposure to emerging threats. For cybersecurity-related solutions, please visit us at DuoCircle.com today. You can call us at 1-855-700-1386 or email support@duocircle.com.